Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Can you guess where I am? See, look. Clue? Clue? Boxing gloves? Clue? Yes, that's right. Lithuania. What do you think of these? I've got these little boxing gloves in the souvenir shop. See? Good, aren't they? So the first thing I saw when I walked in the souvenir shop, because you normally go in there to buy, your fridge magnets and the key rings for all your family and friends and all that bollocks. And I saw these, I thought, I'm having them. And I got a t-shirt. See, it says Lietuva, which means Lithuania, in Lithuanian. And this says something else. And I love the Baltic states, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. I've been to all three in the last year. This is my second time in Lithuania. It's fucking brilliant. They're lovely places, really beautiful cities. Well, shuffle these gloves, little gloves. Anyway, enough of my travels. I thought I'd do a quick video because I keep mentioning Lee from Inside the Distance Boxing. I really think he deserves more subscribers because he does make some very good points. And I like channels that, he makes great videos. I like channels where you think, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that's a good point. And then, it gets you thinking. And I watched the latest of his videos. He was talking about Turki Alalshikh and the whole pay-per-view debate. Now, I did a video on this a week ago, so maybe a little bit less than a week ago. And I repeated, I don't do pay-per-views. I don't believe in pay-per-views. I don't think they're necessary. I think we're all being conned. I think fighters, instead of receiving 50 million for the top echelon of the pay-per-view tree, they should make do with receiving a mere 10 million perhaps, or even a mere 5 million. We'll have a whip round for you. We'll have a GoFundMe if you're only getting 5 million for a fight, okay? But no, I think basically it's pay-per-view is a construct that's been put together over the years to manipulate the public into accepting it and believing that it is a necessary evil for top fights to be made. No, it isn't. It's a necessary evil for what I consider to be the evil of so-called free market capitalism, vulture capitalism, I call it, where you're going to fleece the public, you're going to squeeze the rag dry, you're going to get every single penny you can out of the poor, unsuspecting public. And I don't go for it. So stream team all the way, watch it by other means. But Lee made a very good point over at Inside the Distance. Give him a sub, get him to at least 1,000 subscribers, because Christ, he deserves a lot more than that. But he said that he made a video about Turki Alalshikh, and he said, isn't it ironic that Turki Alalshikh, for all his billions, is the one person who's talking about putting at least putting a cap on pay-per-view, $20, I think, if you're in the US, £20 if you're in the UK, €20, I suppose, would be the rest of Europe, or most of the rest of Europe. We're out of it tragically now, but there we are. And that's at least a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned, okay? Now, isn't it fun? Yeah, and Lee is, of course, absolutely correct, because when you consider that when DAZN, and I'm a DAZN subscriber, okay, it's not that I don't put any money into boxing. God knows I've spent thousands and thousands of pounds over the years, over the decades, going to small hall shows and, so on. And I used to subscribe to Sky way, way back 30 years ago when it first started. And then I knocked it on the head precisely because pay-per-view came into operation. I thought, you're not charging me twice or even 3 times in some cases. I'm not having it. So pay-per-view, the supposed necessary evil, it's not something that I go with. It's not something I believe in. But Eddie Hearn was the one when DAZN came along who said, pay-per-view's dead. Pay-per-view's on the way out. Oh, no, get rid of it. Now, DAZN is awash with pay-per-views. As a subscriber, I subscribed from the very start when it was only $1.99. I knew they wouldn't last, of course, but that's just to sort of draw you in. Fair enough. I thought it went up to about £9. I think if you buy a year in advance, it works out to be about £9. That's what I do. I pay a year in advance. £9 a year for loads of boxing, no problem. But if all the big ones are going to start becoming pay-per-views, when we were promised by Hearn that pay-per-view was dead, and then he reneged on it and has never apologised for that. But, would you expect him to? Of course not. you haven't heard Hearn say anything about, well, we need to put a cap on pay-per-views. He's getting a bit silly now. Aren't we fleecing the public a bit? And Warren is obviously the same. Frank Warren, I mean, outrageous when it comes to the issue of pay-per-views. About 7 years ago, maybe, roughly, he was slagging Hearn off. This is before they became best buds, when they jumped into bed with the excellent Turkey. He was saying, oh, it's disgusting what Hearn is doing. Pay-per-view here, pay-per-view there, pay-per-view everywhere. It's disgraceful. We want to give it to the fans. We want to give the fans, value for money. And then, of course, he signed Fury, didn't he, at some point? I can't remember the exact chronology of it, but no sooner had he signed Fury. Fast forward a few years, and what did we have? Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte for a record pay-per-view price, and the worst conceivable undercard you can imagine. Absolutely barren, tumbleweed stuff, the undercard, for 25, 26 quid or whatever it was in the UK. Obscene rip-off. I don't think Fury gets out of jail, because Fury was the one who had to okay it, so fuck him as well. But yeah, Warren, absolute stinking hypocrite of a man. Right. Now, what does this show? This shows that Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, the two biggest promoters in the UK by far, you didn't hear a single peep, a single syllable out of them when it comes to reducing either the amount of pay-per-views or at least putting a cap on the cost. Who was that down to? Turki Alalshikh, who is worth billions upon billions of, well, he's not a member of the royal family. He's one of their top advisors. He's in charge of the whole sports washing thing that goes on. By another name, it's still sports washing. But he is the one who you would think would, as Lee in his video said, who you would think would be least attuned to what the working class man and woman has to do to follow boxing in the modern age. He is the one who said, well, actually, we need to put a cap on this, because he is the only one who's mentioned illegal streaming. All right. Actually, you could make an argument that it's not illegal, by the way. But, you are not committing a crime. The people that stream it possibly are, but you simply observing it are not committing a crime. You can make that argument. Be interesting to see that in court, But anyway, he is the one who's addressed this issue. Warren and Hearn haven't mentioned it, other than I think Hearn may have said something 3-4 years ago. Illegal streaming, it's theft, isn't it? Not, well, yeah, but not, the question never popped into his head, or if it did, he ignored it. And Frank Smith is another one, and, the Warrens as well. It never popped into their head, this question, or they ignored it. Why do people illegally stream? Well, certainly there are some people like me on principle who don't believe in pay-per-view. There are some people who say pay-per-view, yeah, I'd pay for it if it was cheaper. Those are the ones that Turki Alalshikh is highlighting, is going for. He's saying, do you know what? We need to do something about this. And if we offer real value for money, people are going to say, okay, I'll go for that. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. It's like I don't subscribe to Sky Sports because I think the boxing content is few and far between and very often quite weak. That's since Hearn left and Shalom and Box took over. If they reduced pay-per-view, would I consider it? Highly unlikely. That's just me. But lots of other people would. Lots of other people would say, do you know what? That 25 quid, I think it's got to come below 20. I mean, 15 tops, absolute tops. More like a tenner would do you, but 20 is a start. 20 is a start. So it would be an interesting social experiment to see if you did put a cap on it at 20, how many more people you would get buying pay-per-view and how many fewer people you would get watching the streaming. Interesting social experiment, little boxing experiment. But anyway, to get back to the point that Lee made and the point of this video, why is it? Doesn't it speak volumes that a guy from Riyadh, a guy from Saudi Arabia, was the one who actually acknowledged the effect of illegal streaming and equated it with, the financial struggle that a lot of people are having with the cost of living crisis, Thank you for that, Tories. You know, isn't it strange that some billionaire, multi-billionaire in charge of billions and billions of dollars, pounds, whatever you want to call it, euros, who is supposedly revolutionizing boxing, isn't it strange that it was down to him to equate the two, the illegal streaming and the pay-per-view price? Such an obvious connection. Yet Warren and Hearn, and the others as well, Aram's another one, you know, Canelo, who probably was a self-promoted, well, not self-promoted, but self-managed guy. None of these have ever said a word about it. They haven't had a peep out of them. So for that, and if you watch my videos before, you will know my reservations about Turki Alalshikh taking over boxing. I think it's long-term, it could be a very bad thing. I think I definitely have reservations about it. But on this particular point, I have to say, well done, Turkey. You have proved yourself to be excellent on this point. And we'll see where it goes. Very, very interesting. Very interesting argument to be made. Anyway, let me know your opinions. And just tell me what you think. You know, if you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't, you don't. That's fine. I've had people, saying, don't give me a socialist lecture. I'll give you whatever the fuck I want to give you. This is my fucking channel. You don't have to listen to it, If you think that's a socialist lecture, believe me, what I said earlier on, that is mild. That's a pimple on Goliath's arse compared to what I could say about this, the way that this thing, if you want to call boxing pay-per-view as a microcosm of modern-day vulture capitalist economics, I could rant for hours about it. Trust me, right? That's nothing. But never mind that. Even if you are not of the same political persuasion as me, surely you've got to think that this is a good thing, putting a cap on pay-per-view. Surely you think that the market shouldn't cannibalize itself, even if you are a great believer in capitalism. And I mean, to me, capitalism makes capital. It's what you do with it. It's who gets do we let a fraction of a percent have the majority of it, or do we spread it about a bit? Do we give back to the people that created it, which is, in my opinion, we should. Other people, the so-called libertarians, to use the American definition of that term, might say differently. But regardless of your political views, regardless of economics of it, what do you think of Turkey's opinion of his idea of this little experiment for $20, a £20 cap on pay-per-view? Let me know. Please let me know. And as usual, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the like button. If you didn't like the video, hit the like button anyway, because it's good for your karma. I'm told there's this thing called karma. And it's not wishful thinking. Oh, no, it's real. So if you hated the video, hit like anyway. And then in the next life, you'll be rewarded. There's a special place in heaven for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon. Looking forward to reading your comments as well on this. Bye for now. Oh, Lithuania. Pay it a visit if you can.